future scientists, it's Dr. Abby. I hope you guys are all doing great and you're continuing to work really hard as we finish out the rest of this school year at home. Now, most of my videos so far have been about animals, but I thought today would be a neat time to do a little bit about vegetables and plants. And what I thought would be a good way to show you guys would be to share a science experiment that my boys and I have been doing here at home. We've been calling it zombie vegetable garden. So what we've been doing is growing vegetables from cuttings of vegetables that we've been using as we prepare our meals and our snacks. Now, we know that we can make more vegetables with seeds. So you can buy seeds at the store and you can plant seeds in the ground and water them and allow them to have ample sunlight. And eventually they're going to grow a plant that will hopefully go forth and make more vegetables. But did you know that you can also grow vegetables from pieces of vegetables, right? And that's why we call it zombie vegetable garden, because we're actually growing new life from just a piece or a part of a former vegetable. So I have a couple examples out here that we've been growing in our kitchen. And I thought I would show you guys what they look like and then talk a little bit about how you can do that at home. So the scientific term for this is called vegetative propagation, kind of a mouthful. So vegetative means plant. Propagation means to make more copies of, so make more of something. So these plants are making more copies of themselves. So this right here is the base of a celery. So it's a celery base, and I'll show you guys. I've got more to chop up for our veggies this afternoon. But just like a head of celery that you would buy at the grocery store, most of the time when you're preparing celery sticks, mom or dad is going to cut the bottom off that, and that's either going to go into the compost pile or into the trash can and not get used, not get eaten. Well, what we've done here is we've cut that bottom part off, nice and flush, and we have put that bottom in a little bowl of water. And then we've set the bottom in there. And in just a couple days, we've gotten this sprout that is grown right out of the middle of that neat little bottom of celery. So I change the water every couple days. And then we also sprinkle a little bit of water on top to keep that sprout fresh. And then eventually it gets quite tall like this. And then what we're going to do when it's gotten to this size, so this guy started off kind of that similar size and has grown into many sprouts, and the cats have gotten pretty interested in it. So it's time to transplant this guy. Then I've just got a little potting jar with some potting soil in it. And we're gonna stick this guy, nestle him down in there, push a little bit of the dirt around him to support him, water him, and keep an eye on him, give him water, and introduce him to some sunlight so that he can start to really grow some roots. And then we'll transplant him out into our garden at a later point. So pretty neat. We've got a brand new celery stalk growing here from something that we normally would have thrown away into the trash. Or actually for us, we would have put it into our compost pile to make better soil for more of our vegetables that we grow outside. So that's celery, but there are a number of other vegetables that will grow by vegetative propagation. So another great example are carrots. So here we have right here, and look I've used a bowl for this one, but just a recycled glass jar that we would have thrown in the recycling bin anyways. Does a really great job. So these are carrot tops. So let's bring that in kind of close. So this is just the top or the head, and then you can see, look at that. Look at these great little roots that are already growing from this carrot top. So what we did here is we used toothpicks and we inserted those into the carrots so that they could be suspended, so they could hang over this little jar of water. And we want it just so it's enough that it is barely resting on the surface of the water. We don't want to submerge, which means dump all the way underneath the water, the carrot, or it'll get kind of rotten and gross and slimy. We want it just enough to kind of help stimulate those roots to say, hey, I want to grow, and I want to grow down in there so I can get the nourishment that I need. And then pretty soon, you'll have this neat little plant growing right out of the top of your carrot head. And here's one that we just planted this morning. He's in there. He was kind of looking similar to this guy with quite a bit more greenery. So it was time to transplant him, and he's also going to move outside. Now, another plant that we've been having fun with are sweet potatoes. These are quite pretty in my opinion. So sweet potatoes, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like the craziest, longest vine. So this is one sweet potato gave us these two very cool, beautiful plants with long, long sweet potato vines. Now these guys have been growing for probably about 3 weeks, would be my guess. Same thing, we used toothpicks and inserted those 1, 2, 3, 4 into the sides of the sweet potato so that he, again, could just rest right over the top of the water, not dumping his buns all the way in, but just enough to help stimulate the roots. And look at all those beautiful roots. So pretty soon I'm gonna divide these into multiple different. So this one sweet potato made these two big plants. And then from that, then we can even further divide into all of these individual little sprouts. Is called a slip, like whoop, I slipped on a banana peel, into these individual slips, which then I can plant those. And then we're gonna have like 10, 12 sweet potato vines, sweet potato plants. It's amazing. So all this fun that you can do right here in your kitchen garden, kitchen science experiment, and have a zombie garden like me and the Mobros. Couple other plants I just thought I would show you that you can grow from these. We haven't started it yet, but this is a vegetable called a bok choy. It's part of the cabbage family, but you can also chop off his bottom, just like we did with the celery, and grow him. So he's gonna be our next experiment, is Mr. Bok choy. We're gonna see how he grows and sprouts anew. You can also do the same thing with the toothpicks for avocados. So inside an avocado, when you cut it in half, it has a nice round seed, and that seed you can also put toothpicks in, suspend the whole seed. You don't have to cut it in half or anything like that. Suspend the whole seed over water as well, and a neat little plant will grow out of him. And another place where you can harvest seeds, if you didn't want to do vegetative propagation, but you wanted to try to get some seeds to plant from your vegetables, inside peppers, if you strip out the seeds, you can also dry these seeds and then plant those. Sometimes you have better luck with organic or heirloom peppers to do this with, as many of the vegetables that we're gonna be buying at the grocery store tend to be hybrids, which means they're combinations of different vegetables and they don't grow quite as well, but it's worth trying because it's fun and it's science and it's an experiment. So that's it for today, but I hope you guys will at least start one veggie zombie vegetable garden at home like we have, because it's awfully fun to watch them grow. And it's a great time of year, since it's spring, to have a lot of green and life growing in your home. You guys take care. We miss you all so much, and we hope you're doing great. And have a terrific day. Bye.